Sunday morning. We had an overdose.
dressed up. Start at 6, but I can't believe that's going to happen. These things always start. Oh yeah, the problem is that they're taking got like 3 or 4 people there, so 3 or 4 people coming. And then we start again. Okay, great. Then you should be on. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I actually don't think so. Good evening, everyone. We are about 5 minutes from candle lighting. Let's come up and light, and then we'll say the bracha in 5 minutes from now. Please come up and light a candle.
brought in Trisha's 14 for
to invite you to come forward to light candles. If you haven't already done so, please come forward to light candles.
Oh, I know the piece. Yeah, no. Me and thank you. No, I'm a big Dr. Breyer's fan. No. We're not competing for space. Well, if you didn't have
Friends, this is our last opportunity to come forward and light candles. If you're just coming into the room and you want to light candles, please come forward. Find our seats and please rise as we say Hadlakat Nirot, as we light candles for Shabbat and Yom HaKippurim. It's customary to light a Yizkor candle on Yom Kippur, so we have lit one here, and if you haven't lit one at home, you may want to do so when you get home to commemorate loved ones lost. Let's bring in what we can of what light there has been this year. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. We can be seated. It's been our custom the last few years to begin the evening with a chant. Here's one I learned that I think will serve us well tonight. I'm not alone, 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 I'm not alone. Let's try. I'm not alone, 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 I'm beauty and the pain. I'm not alone, for me the world was created. I'm not alone, to dust I will return. I'm not alone, 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 I'm not alone. We're not alone, 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 we're not alone. We forget for a minute who we belong to. The Mama Earth, the wind and rain, the beauty and the pain. We're not alone, for us the world was created. We're not alone, to dust we will return. Look around. We're not alone, 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 we're not alone. B'yeshiva shel mala u'b'yeshiva shel mata. In the yeshiva on heaven and in the yeshiva on earth, al da'at hamakom ve'al da'at hakahal, with permission of the omnipresent one and with permission of this congregation. Anu matirin lihit palel im ha'avaryanim. We accept into our midst all who seek to pray, whether righteous or unrighteous, and all shall pray as one community. This is our opening recitation. Upper and lower courts are joined, divine and human are joined, echad be'echad, one into one. We are joined with those who have crossed the boundary of sin. And we are joined with the sinner aspect of ourselves. Tonight we seek atonement, or at-one-ment, the dissolution of boundaries. Kol Nidre is a prayer about release from old commitments. It says, let our hearts be free of what we were, so that we can re-examine ourselves and create ourselves anew. We are here to let go of our reputations and our certainty, to soften our outlooks and consider options with openness. We're here with compassion for ourselves and with admiration for that which is indeed admirable in us, so that we can sift through the gifts, our gifts, and reconfigure ourselves, emerging from Yom HaKippurim closer to our high dreams of who we might be. Let's rise as the Sifrei Torah are taken from the Aron Kodesh. Efron and Wendy. Or Zaru al Tzadik, U'Yishrei Lev Simcha. Let's have Dahlia and Abby. Or Zaru al Tzadik, U'Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zaru al Tzadik, U'Yishrei Lev Simcha. Zarua Latzadik, Ulishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik, Ulishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik, Ulishrei Lev Simcha.
Vishiva Shemalam, Vishiva Shematam, Al Dat HaMakom, V'al Dat HaKahal, Matirim להתפלל עם עבריינים כל נדרי
בשיבה של מעלה ובשיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל עם העבריינים. בשירה של מעלה ובשירה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת מתירים להתפלל עם העבריינים.
כל נדרי ושרי וחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבועות דין דרנה ודשתבנה ודחרימנה ודסרנה על נפשתנה מיום כיפורים זה צדיקים שביתים בתהילים ובבטלין לא שרירים ולא קיימים נדרנה Sarana la esarei Ushivuatana la shivu
וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבועות דין דגנה Udeacharina Ve'adasana Nafshatana Miyom Kippurim Ad Yom Kippurim Hava Aleinu Letova Kol Icharatna Lehon Kol Yehon Sheram Shavikin Shavitin B'teilin u'b'atalin La'asharim Ve'la'kayamin Nidana Sarana la esave Ushavuatana la Shavuot Yom Kippurim zeh ad Yom Kippurim ונסלח לכל הדת בני ישראל הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם נשכגה ונסלח לכל הדת בני ישראל הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם בשגגה ונסלח לכל הדת בני ישראל הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם בשגגה צלח נערון הזה כגודל חסדך וכאשר נעשית לעם הזה ממצרים ועד הנה ושם נאמר ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה
and Wendy Rubin. We can return the Torahs to the Aron Kodesh, and we can be seated. I'd like to invite Dahlia Margalit Faircloth and Abby Fitch, co-chair of the Or Shalom board, and they will be followed by Martin Gottfried and Sally Thorne, co-chair of our More Or campaign.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I hope this Yom Kippur will be a restful and contemplative one for everyone here today and for those taking part online. In the last year, we have had a huge range of activities, from regular gatherings like Shabbat services and our weekly Torah class, to standalone events that have filled our bayit to capacity, such as hosting Israeli peacemaker Ma'oz Zinon and hosting 3 other synagogues for Shavuot. We've held regular special events like Shabbat dinners for young families, Shabbat Soul, Music Kabbalat Shabbat, Cascadian Shabbat that brings our service outdoors into parks, Havdalah, and the Light in Winter concert series. We have gathered for celebrations like Selihot Mitzvah for both young and old, and our raucous Purim party, and for more somber events that recognize the pain of loss in our lives here and beyond. The last year has brought extraordinary new pain and tension. Our community has responded by creating opportunities to ease our pain. Shamati, our virtual listening groups in which 200 members participated, several affinity groups for sharing what's been heavy on our hearts, our arts-based release of grief just before Purim, and our evening of storytelling on the theme of mending just a few weeks ago. We have maintained Or Shalom as a place where all feel welcome and all views are treated with respect and care. The Tikkun Olam Committee has arranged 2 wonderful events with Indigenous leaders and guided Or Shalom to adopt a land acknowledgement. Under Rabbi Hannah's guidance and based on community learning and dialogue, we have adopted a groundbreaking policy on gender-inclusive Jewish identity. The demonstration of our success is in the large number of people who participate, whether through attendance, volunteering, creative contribution, or mutual support. Our community continues to grow as we welcome many new members. I look forward to seeing all of you throughout the year.
Thank you, Abby, for that lovely retrospective. So what lies ahead? I'm Dahlia Margalit Faircloth, one of the co-chairs of the board. Our More Or renovation and temporary move is our biggest physical project for the upcoming year. You will hear a lot more about that from Sally and Martin shortly. A tremendous yasher koach to the More Or Renovation Committee, so ably led by John First. John, are you here? A huge yasher koach to you for keeping this project moving forward in spite of the agonizingly difficult year we have just endured. We are working together to find new forums and media for communal communication and healing. We are continuing to live stream events and services, introducing new discussion groups, looking at films and writings to help guide and strengthen the fabric of our community. Please see the schedule of programming for next year on the seats next to you, which reflects the richness and talents of our community. Please take them home with you, peruse them, and figure out what you'd like to attend over the next year. Rabbi Arik Leibovitz will, as of November 1st, take on the responsibility and mantle of our full-time rabbi. We have been in the tremendously lucky and unique position of having had a year to meet and learn about Rabbi Arik and his family, and for them to meet and get to know us. We heartily welcome them to all our Or Shalom family. Please join us on Simchat Torah for a joyous celebration of transition from Rabbi Hannah's to Rabbi Arik's tenure. And a huge thank you to our staff, Efrat, Tracy, and Katie. You are the faces of Or Shalom, and we are truly grateful for the warmth, energy, and light that you bring to this community. We continue to clarify and refine our commitment to gender-inclusive Jewish descent, specifically in the realm of implementing a Chevra Kadisha to ensure ritual tahara and burial of all members of this holy community. Our upcoming board is committed, together with you, our members, to revisiting and renewing our values of inclusion, ongoing spiritual learning, and synagogue sustainability that we affirmed last year. Now, I'd like to thank the members of this past year's board. If you're in the room, please stand when I call your name. Abby Fitch, Russell Wong, Avril Orloff, Jane Willichek, Avi Yan, Malcolm Steinberg, Marty Putterman, Jody Eaton, and Emmett Davis. This is your board. Each of you has brought to the board your energy, skills, thoughtful consideration, and level-headedness through this very rocky year. It has not been easy to navigate these waters, and I was so grateful to you all. I knew that when I felt lost, I could always rely on you all to provide a clear, balanced path forward. And in closing, to Rabbi Hannah Dresner, you and I started our relationship with this Or Shalom community at about the same time, 9 years ago. Over the years, as you have come to know us and us you have provided me with some of the deepest, most meaningful experiences of my spiritual life. The first Or Shalom weekend retreat that I attended, the annual High Holy Days services with drushes, services, and melodies that were innovative, provocative, thoughtful, creative, and beautifully crafted. You have introduced us to rabbis, artists, and musicians who have enriched our communal life, our communal religious life. I could go on and on, but we will leave that for another time. My gratitude is unending. We wish you well on your ongoing journey and look forward to what the future holds for us all. On behalf of the 5784 board, we wish you all a Shana Yoter Tova, a better year, and may we all be inscribed in the book of life for another year.
I'll be the short one.
Yes.
A year ago, on this night, Martin and I stood before you and explained with great excitement the capital campaign our community was beginning to launch. We were confident that the Or Shalom community was ready to take on this challenge, to upgrade our beloved East Side Shul so that it would meet the needs of our diverse membership over the next 3 decades. We had our campaign callers all lined up to begin asking you to stretch your donation capacity so that each and every member of this Or Shalom community could be counted among those who had made it happen. And then 3 days later, on October 7th, all of our lives were changed forever. And despite the pain and shock of the events of that day and into the months beyond, many of you did step up to contribute, and we thank you sincerely for that. But we also know that many others of you were in too much grief and despair to even think about donating money for a building project here in our own community. Many of you said to the person who assigned to call you, "Perhaps, but not now." And so after a few weeks, we decided it made best sense to put a pause on that capital campaign and to restart it again in the coming year. The very good news is that we already have donations or commitments from a significant proportion of the total cost of the building work that's planned. So we're most of the way there. And now we're taking this next step towards securing the final amounts of funding we need to bring this project to a successful conclusion.
Let's take a moment to review what these funds will achieve. The most obvious change will be the building of a new education wing for our multi-generational education program. The highlight of this facility will be a large subdividable classroom. It will also serve as a dedicated childcare area during services, a multi-purpose space for meetings and other types of gatherings. For the very first time, we will have enclosed spaces for intellectual and spiritual exploration, for the meeting of our minds, and for informal sharing of joys and sorrow. And as Rabbi Hannah noted last year, we will finally have space in which we can create holy messes. In addition, the wing's main floor will house much needed offices for our dearly beloved staff and teachers. Another important feature of the renovations will be a vastly improved accessibility throughout the synagogue. Examples include an elevator, redesigned and repositioned washrooms with hands-free devices and automatic doors, and easier operation of the exterior doors as well. We will be decarbonizing the shul by replacing the gas furnace with heat pumps, cutting gas connections, and improving the insulation throughout. The plan also features enlarging the kitchen to provide a more functional space for, again, our beloved Shabbat kiddushes, outside caterers, and enhancements to food and beverage support. We will be transforming the social hall with multiple French doors that will lead into a re-leveled patio in the east yard. With the advent of the heat pump, the large bulkheads in that ceiling, for those of you who've been in there, will be removed and additional acoustic treatments will be added. With again a sad acknowledgement to the times we are in, the building will have an integrated security system installed throughout. And as expected, the construction process will necessitate new fencing, exterior lighting, and landscaping. Finally, aside from sprucing up with some new paint and carpet, our beloved sanctuary will stay the same. To quote Rabbi Hannah again, "It is surely a place historically layered with human-divine interaction, enriched by a patina of human longing and cleaving to the one, that carries the fullness of Or Shalom's communal religious experiences, as well as the residue of a congregational prayer life in the church that lived there over the preceding decades. If not innately spiritual, it is a space richly seasoned with the still small voices of story and prayer, witness to human faith and perseverance, and vibrating with spiritual resonance."
These changes represent what you, our community, have loudly and clearly told us we all need now and into the future. They are not luxury improvements. Our Or Shalom Shul will always be the cozy and comfortable space in which we're all welcome and we all feel at home. But they are improvements that make sense, so that future members, our children and our grandchildren included, will be able to have the privilege of the wonderful Jewish community experience that's been so precious to us all. It's an investment for the future of what Or Shalom means within the wider community and to all of us individually. These are times of transition for sure, in our sanctuary space and in our rabbinic leadership. Times when every member of this community will make a powerful difference in keeping us strong together and on focus for the work we must do to accomplish to set our path toward that bright future. We've all lived through terrible times this year, times that have touched us in painful and confusing ways, and yet we come together again this year, renewed in our desire to be a strong and vibrant Jewish home base, a community that makes a powerful difference in so many lives. The need for a spiritual home, a community, a source of strength and comfort in times of loss, and a space where we can also come together in learning and in celebration. We ask that you do what you can to be part of this important rebuilding project, helping us move into this future together.
May your Yom Kippur be meaningful and bring you a sense of peace.
And may we all be sealed in the book of life.
Gemar Chatim Tova.
Thank you, Sally and Martin and Dahlia and Abby. It's Shabbos in British Columbia. Even in the tall city, sheathed in asphalt, the trees outnumber the people, the flowers outnumber the cars, the grass stretches from one end of the province to the other, Pacific to Rockies. Each blade of grass has a melody. That melody, if that melody had words, it might sound like reach or dig or simply I am, sings the grass. A pair of angels, great, transcendent, multicolored, like rainbows on soap bubbles, survey the scene. They eye the whole province, seagulls shrieking over fishing boats, pencils working crossword puzzles, couples dozing on sofas, traffic roaring, Jews singing Lecha Dodi, rivers clapping over rocks, grass reaching, owls waking, all of life breathing. The angels survey all of this. Shabbat falling in British Columbia. One angel dissolves into a prayer which, if it were in words, would go, "So may it be again next week." The other angel bursts into a scent of lilac, which, if it were in words, would go, "King Yiratzon, may it be so." And the grass responds, "I am." A psalm for the Shabbat, page 354.
Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך עלינו. צדיק התמר יפרח, כארץ בלבנון יזכה. שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי ולא
Blessed are you, great mother. You summon the evening, and in the deepening darkness, you open the shutters and change out the seasons, folding summer under heaps of red leaves, shaking mothballs out of flannel fall. You set stars spinning in orbits of fancy juggler plates on poles. You work the wheel of time, darkness from light and light from darkness, filaments of day, night, Blessed are you, great mother, weaver of evening. Let us silence our cell phones and turn to page 360, rising for Baruch.
Ay, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, ידידיי, נדיי, ידיי, כי הם חיינו, אורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ויעבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשבתך ובקומך, ושרת להיות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. והיה אם שמוע תשמעו מצוותיי שאתם כמצוותיי. ויאמר אדוני למשה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית, על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית על כנף בטביעות תכלת, והיה לכם ציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תעתורו אחרי לבכם ואחרי עיניכם. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני
Page 366.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורתי עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה לי אנו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום לך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ביאה לכל עמו ישראל
Page 368. Let's rise for the Shamru and remain standing through the Chatzi Kaddish and into a silent Amidah.
Israel, Baga. ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה ולילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה
Yashikoah for that beautiful davening, little Huberman. Kol Nidre. All vows I have made and dedicated myself to, all truth and certainty I have sworn, I now regret and nullify. That's what we prayed in opening tonight's service. The question is, can we step away from unwavering conviction and cultivate curiosity instead? Imagine where we might be in the core of our grief if we understood that we are but a sentence in the story of our own people, and that there are other stories, each written by God and bearing the unmistakable trace of God's handwriting. A poem by Israeli poet and translator Felice Miriam Khan Ziskin. In Jerusalem, on the eve of the new year, honey jars instead of parking tickets on the windshields near the wiper greeted our return to the old Toyota and the new hybrid left just outside Dungate. Everyone's destiny intertwined, metamorphosis on our lips. We can heal with words. In our hearts, heaven can happen. Ziskin's poem plays on famous and beloved verses from Psalm 122. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, yishla'u ohavayich. Yehi shalom b'chelkech, v'chelech, shalva ba'armenotayich, lema'an achai v're'ai, adabrana shalom bach. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be serene. May there be peace within your ramparts, serenity within your citadels. For the sake of my kin and my companions, I pray for your peace. The key to healing lies in the single letter that connects our kin and our neighbors, V, and. Making sure I pray to protect my family and all other families. How can we build bridges for peace in Jerusalem and everywhere else? By concentrating on the and. This not so radical idea of empathy beyond borders is already alluded to in the Talmud's reading of Psalm 122. The psalm begins by sharing the excitement of pilgrims who reach the holy city, which is then named Yerushalayim Shechubrala Yachdav, Jerusalem, a city knit together of disparate peoples, stories, and truths. The Talmud notes that this is the city that has the potential to bring people together, and adds a wistful note on behalf of God, who says, I will not settle in the celestial Jerusalem above until I am able to reside in the Jerusalem below. In other words, until there is peace building between people and peoples, there will be no peace streaming from above. We'll only know peace when we figure out how to create it. Rav Kook, who became chief rabbi of Palestine in 1921 and was a passionate early Zionist, said, true peace cannot come into the world except by means of the value of a piece of many faces. A piece of many faces means that all sides and approaches are seen, and it becomes clear how there is a place for all of them, each one according to its perspective. Let's take Rav Kook at his word. A piece of many faces could be the cornerstone of a new Zionism. This is because in Machloket L'Shem Shamayim, dissonance arising from disagreement between parties who are well-intentioned, there is no unilateral truth. In 2005, Stephen Colbert became the host of the late-night talk show, The Colbert Report. During his first show, Colbert introduced the word truthiness, using it to express a kind of truth that is derived from a visceral feeling without intellectual examination. Truthiness is what I say is right and nothing anyone else says could possibly be true. Reb Nachman taught that one who always wants to be victorious is very intolerant of truth. The truth may be staring him in the face, but because he's determined to prevail, he ignores it. If you want to find the real and delicate and messy truth, you're going to have to suspend your urge to win. Then you'll be able to see it if you wish. We are watching families and spiritual communities fracture over staunchly held positions of right and true. Our social worlds are growing smaller because colleagues and acquaintances and former friends cannot abide sharing space with folks they disagree with. Some of us are pulling away from the discomfort of sharing space with people whose truth is anathema to ours. Some of us are already mourning the mounting losses. But even if in the heat of it we don't notice, one day, sooner rather than later, I suspect, we'll be sorry we weren't more humble, curious, patient, and tolerant. Jewish tradition understands truth to be situational, and we ourselves are part of the situation. Our local friend Alan Marinis teaches that truth involves not only speaking accurately, but even more important and earlier in the process, seeing accurately, perceiving accurately. And since truths are often multiple, so must be our perspectives. I had a chavruta, a study partner in rabbinical school, who took it upon herself as a religious practice to consistently argue positions she diametrically opposed. Her aspiration was to grow her capacity to see a situation from the vantage point of the other. Rabbi Arthur Green has taught that truth is a broad tent. Falsehood, sheker in Hebrew, is spelled shin kuf taf, 3 letters at the very end of the alphabet. Green says they are like a cabal cloistered in the corner whispering nastiness. But truth, emet, spelled aleph, mem, taf, the first, the middle, and the last letters of the alphabet, span a spectrum. This is to remind us that truth is not one-sided. It includes all sides of a story, even the quiet voices. Emet is never extreme. There are, of course, indisputable facts. Deborah Lipstadt, our great defender against Holocaust deniers, wants us to be clear that there are facts, there are opinions, and there are lies. And what Holocaust deniers do is take their lies, dress them up as opinions, maybe edgy or out-of-the-box opinions, and insist that as opinions, they should be part of the conversation. We well know that we live in an age of fake news. Facts are under assault. Social media, for all the gifts it's given us, has also allowed the difference between facts, established facts, and lies to be flattened. Not everything is open to debate. There are indisputable facts, objective truths. The earth is not flat. The climate is changing. Elvis is not alive. Pet dogs and cats are not being kidnapped by Middle American immigrants and eaten for supper. Indisputable facts can be singular truths, but often facts can be experienced variously and can support more than one truth, even truths that are at odds. Surely, what is called the dual narrative of Israeli and Palestinian modern history is an example of facts that have been experienced very differently by people living side by side, resulting in truths that are vastly at odds. Instead of recoiling, getting our backs up, can't we say, this is complicated? In the microcosm, we know that even members of our own families can diverge in interpreting the facts of our intimate lives, weaving narratives and realities, truths that can all be supported, but come out in such different places, a spectrum of experiences and understandings. Ideally, we want to respect all angles of our families' stories. We want to be curious and accepting, compassionate, for the sake of loving relationships, for the sake of Shalom Bayit, peace at home. For the sake of ongoing relationships, we need to cultivate humility. For the sake of peace, can't we be humble enough to say, this is complicated? Rabbi Arik's teacher, Rabbi Tirza Firestone, says, this is the work of emet, to move out of our fixed positions and take a seat in the middle, in the place of that mem, the great mother. It asks us to imagine ourselves like this mother letter, to hold all beings as our children, as our brothers, our sisters, to understand that underneath the hardened places in our opponents' hearts, as in our own, is abject fear. And underneath the fear is a tender wound. And underneath that tender wound is a vast opening, an opening as large as the world, as big as our common humanity. Judgment comes from on high, but truth, according to our tradition, springs from the earth, meaning it arises as filtered through disparate, lowly human experience. It's not determined by God or the heavenly court or any ultimate authority. In numerous sources, our Midrash tells a story about God's creation of the human. With some variations, the story goes that God had this idea of creating a human and consulted with heavenly advisors. Loving kindness advised God to create the human because the human would be lovingly kind. Righteousness advised God to create the human because the human will enact tzedakah, charity, and social justice. Peace said, don't do it, for the human is essentially quarrelsome. And truth said, don't create the human is drenched in lies. At this, God takes truth and hurls it to the ground. Then God creates the human and sets the human upon the ground. Truth will arise from the earth. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks says it this way: for life to be livable, truth on earth cannot be what it is in heaven. Truth in heaven may be platonic, eternal, harmonious, radiant, but humankind cannot aspire to such truth. And if we do, we will create conflict, not peace. Men kill because they believe they possess the truth, while their opponents are in error. Throwing truth to the ground lets human beings live by a different standard of truth, one that is conscious of its limitations, says Rabbi Sachs. Truth on the ground is multiple, partial. Fragments of it lie everywhere. Each person, culture, and language has part of it. None has it all. Truth on earth is not, nor can it aspire to be, the whole truth. It's limited, not comprehensive, particular, not universal. In heaven, there is truth. On earth, there are truths. Each culture has something to contribute. Each person knows something no one else does. In Pirkei Avot, our sages teach, who is wise? One who learns from all people. The wisest is not the one who knows themselves to be wiser than others. Rather, it is the one who knows all people have some share of truth and is willing to learn from them. When she recently spoke at the United Nations, Rachel Goldberg-Polin, mother of the murdered hostage Hirsch Goldberg-Polin, entreated the assembly. We human beings have been blessed with the gifts of intellect, creativity, insight, and perception. Why are we not using these to solve conflicts all over the world? It is because this is hard, takes fortitude, imagination, grit, risk, and hope. Instead, said the mother of the murdered hostage, we opt for hatred because it's so comfortable, so familiar, and so very, very easy. Tonight, we pray for the courage to let go of hatred, to let go of our overarching need to win or to be right. We pray, Kol Nidre, all my conceptia, all my concepts I have insisted to be true, I shatter, disavow, release. Tonight, we stop doubling down on our truths. We seek the courage to take the risk of humility and say, I don't agree with you, but I want to hear what you have to say because it's complicated. May it be so.
No matter how much rehearsal you have, sometimes things just need to be worked out in the moment.
To quote Ross, it's complicated.
We're going to enter into the part of our service we call Selihot. Selihot literally means forgiveness, to seek forgiveness. One of the puzzling matters of Selihot is that when we sang Kol Nidre a short while ago, right when we ended this annulling of vows, we say the words from Deuteronomy when Moses sought the forgiveness of God for the grievous sin of the Israelites, of the golden calf. And after beseeching God, God responded, Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. I have forgiven you as you have asked. So we begin Yom Kippur with forgiveness already, right from the beginning. So what are we doing now when we beat our chests and when we call out repeatedly in every service that continues? God has forgiven us. That is not a question. But have we forgiven ourselves? Have we worked through what it is that we need to work through? What we need to be completely free, completely open, completely renewed as we enter into this new year. This takes work. In the ancient temple, it was very simple. They would bring a sacrifice. Sometimes I think, how nice would that be? Just bring a sacrifice and let it go up in smoke and let that be your offering. We're going to begin Selihot with the words Ya'aleh, Ya'aleh, Tachanunenu Me'erev. On page 386, may our song, may our voices, may our prayers, may our beseeching from below reach on high. I want to invite up my wonderful mother-in-law, Myrna. I want to invite up Harriet and Alexis to lead us in Ya'aleh, page 386.
Ya'aleh,
Ya'aleh tanureinu be'erev ve'yavo shavatenu miboker ve'yera'eh ri'uneinu ad arev Ya'aleh koleinu me'erev Ya'aleh, Ya'aleh, Ya'aleh Ya'aleh koleinu Ya'aleh, Ya'aleh, Ya'aleh Ya'aleh koleinu Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai 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 lai lai, hai lai lai, yai 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 lai lai, oh.
Lechu neran en al Adonai, naria letzo yishenu, nikadma fanav betodah, bizamirot naria lo. I invite you to turn to page 388 at the top. We don't have any offering, any sacrifice except for our own selves. Yom Kippur is like the great mikvah of the year. We jump in full body, expecting to release whatever we can and to enter into rebirth and new life. And we can't do this without our whole bodies being the prayer. Please join with us. Haneshama lach ve'aguf po'aloch chusa alam malach haneshama lach ve'aguf po'aloch chusa Haneshama lach ve'aguf po'aloch chusa page 396, the middle of the page. El Melech Yoshev al Kiseh Rachamim.
El Melech Yoshev al Kiseh Rachamim, mitnaheg b'chasidut, mochel avonotamo, ma'avir rishon rishon, ma'arbe mechila לחטאים וסליחה לפושעים, עושה צדקות עם כל בשר ורוח, לא חרתם תגמול, הוראת לנו לומר 13 זכר לנו היום, ברית 13 כהודעת לעיניו מקדם, ברית 13 כהודעת לעיניו מקדם. וכן כתוב, וירד אדוני בענן, ויתייצב עמו שם, ויקרא בשם אדוני, ויבוא אדוני על פניו, ויקרא.
Please rise. We call out the 13 attributes of divine compassion and forgiveness, loving kindness and truth. May those qualities in that truth that exists on high infuse all of our individual truths as we move into this new year.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech Habayim, V'rav chesed ve'emet, Notzer chesed la'alafim, Noseh avon v'fesha, V'chatzah
Usually, we are the ones who are asked to listen, Shema Yisrael. But tonight, we ask the one on high to listen to our voices, to listen to our prayers. I invite you to turn to the top of page 398.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you.
Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu Chus verachem verachem aleinu Chus verachem verachem aleinu v'kabel berachamim וברצון את תפילתנו וקבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו
Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Hashivenu Adonai Elecha
Return us to ourselves. Return us to each other.
Return us to the earth. Return us to our land, the land beneath our feet.
Return us to this moment.
Return us to our knowing, remembering that we know.
Return us to our rhythms. Return us to our drums.
Return us to sleep in the middle of the night.
Return us to our deepest desires, our shared loves, our clear visions.
Return us to our bodies, to our breath, to breathing easily.
Return us to knowing how beautiful we are.
Return us to our good questions, our bare feet, our brilliant minds, our singing voices.
Return us to our places of peacemaking.
Return us to trusting each other and ourselves.
Return us, turn us, and we will dance and be held, and behold that we are whole, and be in harmony with you.
Return us, keep turning us, for everything is within us, for Torah will keep coming out of us.
For sweetness is within us and longs to return to you. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha
Shivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekeden Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekeden Ay, 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 ay,
Please remain standing. We turn to page 400, the third paragraph.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, slach lanu, mechal lanu, chaper lanu, ki anu amecha ve'ata Eloheinu, anu vanecha ve'ata avinu. Anu avadecha ve'ata Adonenu, anu ke'alecha ve'ata chelkenu, anu nachlatecha ve'ata gorenu, anu tzonecha ve'ata ro'enu, anu karmecha ve'ata notreinu, anu fehunatecha ve'ata yotzreinu, anu rayatecha ve'ata dodenu, anu segulatecha ve'ata krovenu, anu amecha ve'ata malkenu, anu mamirecha ve'ata mamirenu,
Some would say the natural state of a human being is one of joy. Jews say it differently. The natural state is oi. It takes a few layers of oi to get down to the joy. And that is what we're doing when we resuscitate our hearts tonight with the Shamnu, Bagadnu, when we go through the whole Aleph Bet from beginning to end, from Aleph through Mem through Tav, the whole truth and nothing but it. We are peeling layers off for ripe soil. Before we saying the Asham news, I want to invite Stephanie Sternagel to please come forward and offer a reading.
When I thump my chest, may my heart swell with fertile soil and sprout sprigs of humility, fragility, and tranquility. Let the collective anguish of a community unprepared for the moment elevate one another to meet our shortcomings. May we be unified by the shofar blast as one complete collective in God's tender and rousing embrace. May we find purity in the splintered rubble of our best efforts, solace in the futility of our plight, grace in the helter-skelter journey on the unpaved path, peace in the volcanic eruptions of emotions, rest in the restlessness and remorse. Rebirth in the face of unbearable bitterness and nakedness in the yearning, in the bearing of our souls.
Page 403. Stronger. Tziavnu page 401.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב.
And for the ways we have missed the mark by allowing ourselves to forget those around us.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי ובסתר.
And for the ways we have missed the mark by being unkind and unfair to our spouses and partners.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בהאור הלב.
And the ways we have missed the mark by being impatient with our elderly parents.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזדון ובשגגה.
And for the ways we have missed the mark by paying more attention to our cell phones than to our children.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטיפשות פה.
And for the ways we have missed the mark by yelling at those whom we love.
ועל כולם אלוהי סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכפת
For the ways we have missed the mark by considering ourselves superior to others.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך במאכל ובמשתה.
And for the ways we have missed the mark by considering ourselves inferior to others.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בסיקור עין.
For the ways we have missed the mark by judging others harshly on first appearances.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות.
And for the ways we have missed the mark by wanting others to be more like us.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בקשיות עורף.
For the ways we have missed the mark by letting our hopelessness keep us from comforting others.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת חינם.
For the ways we have missed the mark by being jealous of others.
ועל כולם אלוהי סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
Rachamana, top of page 4. This is 412. 412, thank you. Rachamana de'ane le'ani ye'anena, oy oy yanena. Rachamana de'ane ye'ani oy yanena. Rachamana de'ane litzvirei libo anena anena. Rachamana de'ane litzvirei libo anena anena. Rachamana de'ane de'ani ye'ani ye'ani Because it's Shabbos, we don't sing the Avinu Malkeinu. So I want to invite, but we'll sing the melody. But before we do, if you want to have a seat for a moment. I want to invite Noah Gottfried to please come forward and offer a reading. This is another reading by dear friend Aaron Nankin, same author of the reading that Stephanie read. We're grateful to have him. He's a resident poet in the Bay Area, and I lean heavily on him for the high holidays, as you'll see.
Space for the New by Aaron Nankin. I make space for the new. That isn't easy to do because I gotta release all of the sludge that's caked, hardened, won't budge. It means softening and melting what's hard, like candle wax. Because why on earth would we hold on to ancient artifacts when light will shine through in all directions once we start to crack and realize we are ecstatic beings, not all the things we lack. And once we break up the knot that stands in the center of our being, that threatens to spread death among each cell from our toes to our ceiling, we can call on our courage to dismantle the construction with due respect. Like a wrecking ball of curiosity, we can conquer each demon we inspect. Then, and only then, can we have space to breathe. It's true. Then and only then can we recognize our limitless power anew. Then and only then can we feel the spaciousness that is our right. Then and only then can we hit the runway like it was our first flight. Then and only then can we have space for creation and imagination. Then and only then can we ascend to heights we never imagined with elation. Making space requires patience, requires us to give silence its due. Here we can create new possibilities. Here we make space for the new.
We'll open the Aron, and I invite you all to rise. We'll just sing the melody, remembering all that this melody stands for. Aseh Manu, make with us vehicles of tzedakah, of chesed, and then we shall be redeemed. Shalom on page 418.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומי חול ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואימרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי עולמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהלל ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי בקודשה ברכו לעילה לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה ואמירן בעלמה ואימרו אמן תתקבל צלו תהום ובאו תהום דכל ישראל קדם אבוהון דלשמיא ואימרו אמן יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישמעאל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואימרו אמן.
Yashikoach, Harriet Frost, and Rabbi Arik, and Alexis, Callum Creer, Myrna Rabinowitz, Noah Gottfried, and Stephanie Sternigal. We remain standing for Aleinu, page 420. Einod, Einod, Einod. Tate gedula le'yotzer bereshit shelo asanu kegoyei ha'arotzot velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama shelo samu chelkeinu kahem v'goraleinu kechol hamonam ein od ein od. בשמיים ממעל ושכינת עוזו ובנאי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. Emet Malkeinu et vezulato, kakatu v'torato, v'yadata hayom hashivota elevavcha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, v'al ha'aretz, v'tachat ein od, 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 ein od. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. אין עוד, 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 אין We can be seated. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 422. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabba, v'yalmad yivrach yimutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chon v'yomei chon, v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman karim v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam v'almei v'maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shemei de Kudsha Richu. Le'ela, Le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechmata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yishmael, v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru. Amen. Or Shalom is deeply grateful to our staff and to dozens of committed members, member volunteers who've contributed hundreds of hours of love, care, focus, skill, learning, Torah, voices, money, problem solving, determination, and humor to make these days of awe live up to their name. On your way out, please take your machzorim to the table in the hallway, leaving your liturgy supplement on your seats. Do take home the program brochures and your more or bookmark. I invite Nomi to help us conclude page 422. Let's remember that Yom HaKippurim is not a sad day. It's a solemn and joyful day. Good Yenta to all.
In times of fear and darkness, you are my light and my salvation. According to the rabbis, Psalm 27 was chosen to be recited at this time of year because it contains words of encouragement during the days of awe. David says, God is my light and my salvation. On Rosh Hashanah, my light, and on Yom Kippur, my salvation. Please join me in the David. Le David